Greetings from Seoul, Korea, and welcome to the GSL Code S. We already had an amazing day yesterday. Really good games.
Yeah.
It's time for part 2.
That's right. We had 2 Terrans advance, and today, no Terrans will advance because we only have 3 Protosses and a Zerg, which means there's going to be at least 1 Protoss in that top 4.
It's so weird to not have a Terran in a day of the GSL.
No, I know.
It's
so weird to have a top 4 that isn't all Terrans.
I know. It's so weird knowing that maybe, actually, absolutely, I guess when I think about it, there will be no Terran. It's possible to not have a Terran in the finals.
Yes.
Is that possible?
It's possible.
That's weird.
Maybe even probable.
Oh, my God. Well, guys, get on the site. Let us know you're thinking about as far as winning goes here at the GSL. You can predict. We use those stats. We show them on screen and stuff. It's pretty cool. We got a lot of great new features on the site, so check that out. Mm-hmm. Dude, we're going to have a great PvP today. We're going to have an amazing PvP.
No, I can't wait to see it, man. It's like... Yeah. I'm actually so excited for both matches. DRG, the last Zerg, can he come through and get the top 4? DRG is someone that needs to win a GSL. He deserves a GSL. He's one of the best players in the world, by far.
Absolutely.
Best Zerg in the world, I would say.
Yeah, I think it's fair to say. I think he's surpassed an ST.
Oh, yeah.
This play's a little bit cleaner.
But, he's had trouble with ZVP overall. Can he get out of here? I don't know.
We're going to see today.
Parting is unbelievable. He's had the sickest run ever.
In this season of the GSL, he's definitely the dark horse.
Oh, yeah.
Absolutely. Guys, below on the bottom of our screen, you can see where the finals are. Definitely come down and check out the finals. Also, come to our studio. Entrance is free, whether it's the finals or, here in Mokdong. It's definitely something you have to do before you die.
Oh, yeah.
Or you're messing up, man.
Seriously. Make your pilgrimage to the GOM studio.
To nerd heaven.
That's
what
it is, man.
It is. So we're going to take a look at the results now, and we'll throw that up on screen for you now. So yesterday was an interesting day because Alive really dominated MMA. You and I, Artosis, both thought, I think Alive will probably maybe beat MMA. Just a hunch.
Yeah.
Damn, did he play beautifully. He seems to now be the best Terran versus Terran player in the world.
Yeah, I would say so.
Gumiho's style in our TVP was so it's so successful.
He's so
the way that he just throws stuff at people.
Yeah. He's crazy like that.
Now on to today's match.
He's like one of those guns that shoots 3 bullets at once.
He is, man. Yo, he's one of those Artosis.
One of those guns, Tasteless.
You poet, Artosis. Thanks. All right, so today's matches, or rather today's players, we have MC, Genius, Parting,
and DRG.
Thank you. So our first player, MC, the Kratos Protoss, ranked 3rd in the GSL. He has the most GSL championships as a Protoss player. Up after that, Genius, who was he kind of had his rise, then his fall, and now he's coming back. An incredibly solid player after that. Parting, like we said before, the dark horse. His playstyle with Protoss seems to be the best right now.
Yeah, he is probably the best Protoss in the world at this second.
Yeah,
but DRG, definitely the best Zerg. I am so stoked for that match, Tasteless.
Dude, I'm amped. I'm ready. We're on camera. I got to sit up straight. We had such good games today. I'm curious to see for this PvP how these two guys are going to play. With Genius and MC, their play styles are so different. Do you know what I'm saying? Mm-hmm. Like MC's, I feel like more of like a brute force style. He'll forgate a lot.
Yeah, and he takes a lot of risks in PvP. A lot of risks. And see, that's actually something that you can do and get away with.
Absolutely.
PvP is a crazy matchup right now.
It's a tricky matchup for sure. And Genius's play style, it's very strategic, but it's so different from everybody else's. Mm-hmm. I'm finding a hard time articulating how Genius's PvP is so interesting.
Yeah, I'm just excited to see what these guys have prepared. They've had a while to prepare for this match, PvP, and the current PvP metagame, definitely a little bit wild, Tasteless. It has changed a lot in the last few weeks. So to see how these guys cope with that and what type of strategies they use is something I am so looking forward to.
Yeah, it's going to be pretty sick. Guys, spread the word. Get on the forums, get on the internets, and let people know about the GSL. Tell them to tune in live right now, or at least watch the VOD. Because there are nerds out there that actually don't know that the show exists. And
it's a travesty to humanity.
Yeah.
That there are people that don't know the GSL
there are people starving to death parts of the world and everything, but
that's
they also
travesty as well.
That's a travesty as well, but they also too don't know about the GSL, which is just another thing that's wrong with this world.
It is. Yeah. Well, first map going to be dual site. Genius got his smile on.
Oh, look at that evil grin of Genius. What is he thinking about? And MC, have you ever noticed this with MC? He always sort of bounces in his chair before the game, like getting that adrenaline going.
Yeah.
And, okay, Artosis, your predictions. Who wins, MC or Genius?
I think, MC historically has been much better PvP, but I'm going with Genius right now. I think that MC's style is something that, if you really look close at it, you can decode his PvP pretty well.
That's a good way to put it.
You know, he did beat Parting in PvP in the last round, but he probably should have lost it. Can Genius look at those games and say, okay, I kind of get this? We'll see, man. Genius has been on fire. I'm looking for him to go far.
Yeah, this is going to be an interesting series between these two. Our first map is going to be dual site. So it's time, my nerds, to get excited for MC up against Genius here in this round of the GSL Code S. We are on. Over here in the upper right starting location, we have our Protoss player, one of two. He is SKMC. MC now a member of an international team, SK. Been around for a long time, solid team. And I love when you just look at MC, you can feel the energy.
Yeah.
You know what I mean?
Well, this guy, he has a lot of that, Tasteless.
You can just see he's getting in the zone. I love it. Now to our other Protoss player. He was a champion of BlizzCon, not the previous BlizzCon, but the one before that. He is MVP Genius.
Very smart Protoss player.
I think he's one of the smartest players we have here at the GSL.
Aptly named Genius.
That takes some balls, man. To name yourself Genius.
Yeah, I guess you're right.
Think about this. Imagine for a second if you named yourself Genius and you were not a champion.
Yeah,
if you're like the guy that's always in Code A, it's like, you're really not a genius. Like, it's terrible that you drew that to our attention.
Like Perfect Man.
Like Perfect Man. I'm a cast of
Man,
Perfect
you're not perfect, dude.
Yeah. When I had to cast Perfect Man in StarCraft 1, and I'm like, your idea is so funny, but your playstyle is also so funny.
Yeah. Right, okay. So PvP, we have SKMC actually scouting first here. I'm like seriously stoked, Tasteless. I cannot even tell you how excited I am to see the strategies to actually decide to use here. The metagame has shifted greatly. Expansions are very common right now. But who knows, man? Every strat can be done at this moment in PvP.
Oh yeah, absolutely. It's a very it's a matchup with a lot of diverse builds. Now, interestingly enough, it was as you can see at the bottom of our screen, 72% for MC, 27% for Genius.
Well, historically speaking, I mean that's a good vote.
That's totally reasonable number. Now note this, guys. See this probe over here? See how it's next to the gas? If you have a lot of people do not know this. If you put a probe next to their gas, if it's hugging the gas geyser, they cannot build gas there.
And yeah, that's completely true. That's why he was doing it, trying to stall that gas, and it did definitely stall it. Genius got a little bit later than he wanted, and it didn't cost him anything except some probe health, which is fine.
Yeah, that's why he didn't. Yeah, that's why he didn't move it right away when it was being attacked. A lot of people don't know that, so I really want to make that clear to people, because when you get a probe inside your opponent's base, there's all sorts of stuff you can do. You should always, for instance, steal at least a mineral. Why not? Yeah. Probe might get back, but also park your probe next to the gas. And I have to say for a second, I wasn't sure which player I was looking at, but because MC 4-gates so much. But Genius is going to 4-gate.
And this is kind of what I was saying before about MC and the way he plays. I feel like you can kind of decode it. But MC has a good build against this. He's going for a 3-stalker rush opening. That's going to give him some map control. And as long as he has a good movement pattern for those on this map, he should be able to delay the 4-gate long enough to hold it. But this is a tricky 4-gate. Genius showed himself taking the gas. MC thinks that, okay, it looks like it's going to be a double gas, some sort of tech build. So MC might be in trouble. And in fact, he starts at Robo. You know, not a huge deal. He can still hold it. But this 4-gate is coming fast and furious, Tasteless.
It's going to be interesting to see the one game where MC actually gets 4-gated and it's not the other way around. Now, normally with the 3 Stalker Rush, you want to try to make sure you can pick off the probe that's going to be making the pylon during the 4-gate, but it does not look like he's going to be there in time to do that.
And finally, he is warping in some of these Stalkers. He could have warped in before. It looked like he wanted to save them for the ramp. But it is time for him to see if he can bring it. No, MC just warped in 5 Stalkers, wanting to take down these few units that MC had here. And now MC is in so much trouble. That was a move to stop someone, to kill someone who was faking a 4-gate. But he's actually 4-gating. This looks like it is a win for Genius.
Yeah, this is pretty hard to stop the Immortals coming out. Notice how he's keeping close to the pylon. That he's warping over here. He warps in 4 more units now.
Yeah, that is absolutely it, man. I can't imagine MC holding this at this point. Should turn some of those Zelts around to go after the probes, but instead just chasing the Stalkers. That's actually the wrong way to do it.
Now the Immortal's out. The Stalkers have to avoid the Immortal. It's kind of like a merry-go-round that we're seeing right now. But as the Stalkers loop back around, he warps in 3 more Stalkers and a Zealot. Now closing in here. I don't think that MC can keep this ball rolling any further, and that's going to be a GG.
GG. And, you know, this is what I was talking about before. You know, MC, a very good and decisive PvP player, but if you study him, man, he takes a lot of risks. I want to point out something. Genius waited a little bit to warp in his 4 Stalkers.
Yeah.
He wanted to run right over and try to do it at the ramp, it looked like. But a lot of times people poke with that Zealot and a couple Stalkers and try to fake a 4-gate.
Yeah.
And MC immediately warped in 2 Stalkers as opposed to 2 Sentries saying, ha, you're faking a 4-gate.
Well, you know,
but it was an actual 4-gate, and that's what cost him the game.
One thing about Genius, because I've been trying, even before we got into GOM today, I was trying to figure out how to sum up his play style. Here's what it is. He's the guy that gives you false information every single game. He's the guy who cancels the building. Yeah. He'll cancel that gas, or we've seen it before. Well, he'll take 2 gases, show you that he's mining them. Then after he takes out the probe, he just mines from 1.
Yeah.
And they're never going to expect a fast expand.
This is something historically that has taken out MC time and time again. For instance, you look back at when he was like on his big reign, you know, when he was winning everything, players started just showing him what like he's used to seeing, what he wants to see, and he'd react in, you know, this greedy way against that works perfectly against that, and then, you know, the probe leaves the base, throw it onto the barracks, what's up? And then they go attack him and kill him.
Well, MC is like a sponge of information. But the truth is, some of the information that you get when you scout might not actually be
I feel like he's a Polaroid of information. He takes a snapshot of what he sees, and he plays against that.
Yeah, that's a good way to put it. And part of me wants to say, MC, of course, Genius is not going to do whatever you show him. Scouting is almost useless against Genius. Does that make sense? It's like you might as well not scout.
I get what you're saying.
You have to, but yeah, he got duped pretty bad that game. So going on into game number 2, do you know what map we're using, Artosis?
It's going to be Cloud Kingdom.
Okay, Cloud Kingdom. Well, that was a pretty straightforward PvP. It'll be interesting to see what they're going to go for in game number 2. You know what's actually funny about that? When you look back at that game as well, he had the probe parked, MC had the probe parked at Genius's gas, so he couldn't take gas.
Yeah.
So that actually forced Genius into the situation where he had to 4-gate and try to go for a 1.
Well, that made it even more tricky because he took that gas and he's like, okay, yeah, I was delaying your gas, and Genius like, ha, ha, ha,
Genius took it and then just manipulated the situation to his advantage. Very smart by Genius.
Yeah, very well done.
And Genius for a second looked like he was confused that he had these hot packs in his hands. He's like, where do these come from?
He's like, what are these?
What are these
This
things?
isn't a mouse and keyboard.
Just so you guys know, the players actually use the hot packs because they need to keep their hands warm. Because if your hands are cold, you cannot. It's just harder to play StarCraft with cold hands.
Yeah.
It's like playing a piano in a cold room. You can't do that as easily.
That's true. Yeah. Even though the sound will travel more smoothly through the cold air.
Oh, Artosis, you and your big sexy brain, you nerd.
It may sound better there, Tasus, but
it won't be as perfect because the pianist won't play as well.
It's true, man. You have to have a properly heated room for a perfect piano sound.
Yeah. You need properly heated hands for StarCraft. Wow, Genius really getting the zone now, talking to himself for a second there. And it looks like it's actually time now, as we're going to go on to game number 2. PvP, statistically the shortest matchup in StarCraft 2. They're going to have to use all their energy as best they can to get through this. MC against Genius, game number 2 on the map Cloud Kingdom. Let's go.